We just finished a bunch of research. We asked 1,000 bloggers 19 questions. And we learned, among other things, what the most effective format for content is these days, or rather what bloggers are doing and what correlates with strong results. We found lots of interesting stuff about what formats seem to be working. First of all, kind of interesting, how-to articles, great marketers are great educators. This is something Ann Handley's been telling us forever. Not surprising. But guides and ebooks won. Guides and ebooks won. Guides and ebooks were the one format for content that correlated the most strongly with results among bloggers. I also want to combine this with a slide I saw from Megan Golden at a conference earlier this year. When they tested she's at LinkedIn. LinkedIn has tons of data. Every social post you see from LinkedIn is part of a test. It's a lab. They call it LinkedIn Lab. And what they found is that guide had a 100% increase in click-through rate compared to the word ebook. Just saying, not sure, presenting some data. Maybe ebook is over. maybe the days of ebooks are done, and now they're called guides. So I'm interested in this idea of formats for content, and I've gone down this path, and I'm going to try something different with you guys with a totally different format for content, the poem. Yes, I'm going to read to you a poem. Sean, you okay with that? Yeah. Okay, you ready? When social's feeling lonesome and search is hard to find, you need a break, it's time to take some time off from the grind. We're working hard, dear marketers. We publish and we teach. We write, record, we post, we share in the hopes to reach our audience behind a screen, in a distant place. Is there a way to just pick a day and meet up face to face? Oh, conference, how I love you. Let me count the waves. Making friends and learning trends and brand new trails to blaze. When the final blog's been posted and the final email sent, let's take a walk and hear a talk and go to an event. It was fun to write. I wrote that on the brown line. It's been a while. Why not? Let's write a poem. OK, this is what's going to happen next. I'm going to give you a presentation about analytics. It is a deep dive into analytics. And I'm going to weave in throughout of it some more of that research that I just began to present, the annual blogger survey, which we've done now 6 years in a row. So you're going to see some big trends. This just went live last week, I think, or just very recently. So you will be some of the very first to see this data. It's brand new. But I want to make this point first. The reason that I like data, the reason that I love analytics, is that it helps me be better than the average marketer. I want to use data to make better decisions. I want to use data to beat the competition. I've got a little video that shows you what beating the competition looks like offline. This is the red shirts versus the blue shirts. I've been using this at some presentations. The red shirts versus the blue shirts, OK? It's a soccer game. I think this is Japan. And you're going to see what quality versus quantity looks like. Look at how many kids are on this field. They're literally running circles around the red team. The blue shirts are so much better. They are strategically aligned. Their targeting is accurate. The communication between these players is perfect. They are on point. Look, they got like 10 goalies. They got 10 goalies. Is that going to help? Is that going to save them? No. No. That's marketing all over. The great stuff gets so much better results than the good stuff. It's not even fair. It's some tiny percentage of YouTubers get all the views. Some tiny percentage of social media users get all the followers. Some tiny, tiny, tiny percent of pages are visible in search results. You search in Google and it's like, there's 39 gazillion pages relevant to this topic, and here's 10. It's like, wow, the blue shirts are really crushing the red shirts. Like, it's not even a fair fight. And I need data to not be a red shirt, because the world is not waiting for another medium quality blog post. I need to make stuff that's going to outperform. That's my job, to make stuff that outperforms. Why do I need to do this? It's because I don't have time to publish non-performing stuff. I need time to do the important things in my life. She's 1 year old. That's Ada Crestodina. That's us headed for a trip. She loves these mango yogurt popsicles. And I need time to make her mango yogurt popsicles. That's much more important to me than publishing medium quality blog posts. This is her with her big brother. He's now 3. We started him early, and he is, I showed this once before, he is way ahead of the curve. That kid is winning. Yeah. The advantages they will have. So this is going to be, so I'm going to go in and just plow through a lot of analytics, practical analytics tactics that you guys can use immediately, that cost nothing, that lead directly to insights. But it's really hard to teach analytics to a group of people because you guys are at all different levels. It's hard to not go too fast or not go too slow because there's I've used analytics for 18 years. Some people in here have used analytics. Maybe it's very new to them. So what I did was I went ahead and I recorded this entire presentation, posted it at that blank blog post. It's not even gated. Just go to that web address, and you can find this the video of everything I'm about to do. That's it right there. It's like a blank blog that just has this video of everything I'm going to show you. That gives me the freedom to go ahead and overload you a little bit, knowing that you can go back and watch this again and again. It gives you the freedom to relax and not try to capture everything in notes all at once. You can even email this to someone on your team and just have them go watch it. So what we're going to do, the format for this is going to be, I'm going to ask a question, which blog posts are getting seen the most? And then I'm going to give you 2 use cases for the likelihood that this is useful to you. You publish content. It's in a directory. This will be very useful to you. Oh, you're not really into that content stuff. This will be less useful to you. The little thinking emoji. So that'll kind of calibrate for you how useful this might be. Then I'm going to go through the analytics step by step. We're going to use a filter to find the blog posts. I'm going to switch to the comparison view. Now I can see that these are in the comparison view, how much more some of these are getting read than the others. And then I've got some takeaways, some actions you can take. Question, answer, action. That's our format. And then at the bottom, I'm even going to put the time code for that part of the video so you can jump right to it. Watch it again and again. Watch it in slow motion. Play it twice. Watch it as often as you like. This is what's about to happen. Deep dive into analytics. You guys ready? Ready. Here we go. What phrases does this page rank for? Oh, we rank, and we have Search Console connected. This will be useful. No, we don't really get a lot of traffic from search. You can get this directly from Search Console. Search Console should pull all this data into analytics for you if you have it connected. If you don't have it connected and you go to Search Console reports, it looks like this, big paragraph of text. If you need help connecting Search Console to analytics, we've written about this. Just search for how to set up Google Analytics, and you'll find an article we wrote with a video on how to connect these two things. Once you're on that report, look at the page that you're trying to analyze. It's in that report right there under Acquisition Search Console landing pages. Click on the page to drill down to that page. And there's a list of every phrase that page ranks for. And there's the position, the average rank of everything on that page, right? Every phrase that page ranks for and how high it ranks. The next step, we're going to make this a blue shirt. This was a red shirt. We're about to make it a blue shirt. If that thing was almost ranking, if it's ranking but not that high, go reconsider that phrase. Go target that better phrase. Make sure that page is including that phrase as the title, as the header. Make sure it incorporates all those related phrases. And make that a better page in general. Add length, add detailed, add answers, add statistics, contributor quotes. Do anything you can possibly do to make that a better post. Maybe day after tomorrow, that thing should rank a little higher. My most reliable win in SEO after all these years, almost 20 years in search. That's one of the fastest ways to get better results from search. Anyone can do it anytime. Costs nothing. That's at minute 2:30. So that idea then of going back and updating old posts is something I've been kind of obsessed with the last few years. It's one of the questions we ask in our survey. And year after year, more bloggers are telling us that this is part of their strategy. Very powerful. It's part of your strategy to go back and update old URLs. Without changing the URL, go update URLs. What the survey showed us this year is that bloggers who update old content are twice as likely to report strong results from digital. Yet, the other thing that we're seeing from that is that over and over, the bloggers who go deeper into content are reporting better results. 55% of the bloggers who write long are reporting strong results from digital. That's far exceeding the benchmark of 30%. And that's one of the reasons why we've seen this trend year after year after year. The average blog post is now 1,236 words. It keeps growing. This stuff is not getting shorter. People are going deeper into topics. People are writing long form. People are answering every related question. We are now firmly in the era of thorough, detailed content that answers every question. But wait, Andy, what about that goldfish? I heard about there's a goldfish. Like, we all have shorter attention spans than this goldfish. Have you heard this? Yeah, I feel bad for the fish. It's like, leave him alone. The goldfish, right, I'm going to bring up a quote from Jerry Seinfeld, which I think of when people tell me this. I write short because my audience doesn't have a long attention span. There is no such thing as attention span. There is only the quality of what you are viewing. People have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. What show is this from? Anyone know that? The Great British Baking Show. Have you seen this yet? Unbelievably compelling television. It's hard to look away. I call it Game of Scones. You could watch that for hours. 2 hours, no problem. Right? It's an incredible piece of content. Right? if it was true that we have short attention spans, then why would this kind of thing be so effective? No, people don't want to be hit with a wall of text. Don't write long, blocky paragraphs. You want to keep the scan reader flowing. But every article should be as long as it needs to be to cover the topic in detail and not one word longer. This is my rule. I try very hard to write short words, short sentences, and short paragraphs, but I have never tried to write a short post. The length of the article is determined by the topic, quite simply. Next tactic. What are they searching for on your website? Anyone have a search tool on their website? Little box, you can search. About half. If you have a box on your, this is an amazing bit of analysis that you have available to you if you've got a search tool on your site. If you don't have a search box, hang in there. 3 minutes, that will be past this. This is a travel site. The travel site is a search box. If this analytics is set up properly, it's under View. Account, Property, and View, as in grandpa, parent, and the children. This is how analytics works. It's under View Settings. Click on View Settings and scroll down, and there's a little toggle to turn on Site Search. Once Site Search is turned on, you need to add a query parameter. Sounds fancy. What's that? Query parameter. All it is the little thing that appears in the address bar when you search. So if I search for a phrase on this site, let's search for Hawaii. Hawaii appears up in the address bar. Cool. What appears right before Hawaii in the address bar? The query parameter. In this case, it's search_term. Just going to copy and paste that into the analytics setup, and now site search tracking is on. Click Save. Once this is turned on, there's this great insights, these reports that light up in analytics under behavior. Behavior, site search, search terms. This shows you every phrase that people are searching for on your website. That little search box is one of only 3 places in digital where your audience is literally typing into a keyboard what they want from you. Very, very powerful. So then you can see all these phrases that people search for, but I want to combine this with another bit of data to give me a much better insight. It's sort of rare in analytics when the insight jumps off the page. This is one of those examples where the insight is going to jump right off the page. The secondary dimension, the first column is called the primary dimension. We're going to add one more. It's called the secondary dimension. The primary and secondary dimension combination I want here is search term with exit page. Just type exit, and it's going to help you find it. You never have to scroll through everything in here as a search field. Type exit page. Once you click exit page, it's going to create another column there for you. First column, what they searched for. Second column, the last page they visited. People who searched for Bonaire left from Bonaire. People who searched from Guatemala left from Guatemala. That's not weird. People who searched for packing lists left from the search results page. That's weird. Why would you search for something but leave from the search results page? It's because they didn't find it. We call this the report of broken dreams. It's literally a list of all the ways in which your website is unsatisfying. It shows you all the ways in which your web, this is basically, that combination of primary and secondary dimensions shows you what's not working on your site. Also interesting is to add a dimension for the start page. What page did they start searching from? That could be a clue. This is going to show you from which pages on your site people gave up navigating with clicks and had to go all the way to the keyboard. They didn't want to do it. There's like 100 miles between the mouse and the keyboard. Nobody wants to leave the mouse and go all the way to the keyboard and start typing. But if they did that, from where did they do that? Here's an example. Opt out, opt out, opt out. Where are people trying to opt out? Oh, if I add start page as a secondary dimension, kaboom. Those are the pages that are missing that exact information. Very, very useful. Discovering content gaps in seconds. It shows you which information is missing from which page. Site search terms combined with exit page. Site search terms combined with start page. So some obvious tips from this. Everything that you see in that report, you should go search for. Go search for everything. It's a simple exercise. Just pretend to be your audience. Everything that they search for, you should go search for. Did you find it? What did you find? If you didn't find it, do you have a page on that topic? It wasn't ranking? Go optimize for that phrase. Or maybe you didn't have a page at all. Maybe you had a packing list, but you called it what to bring. Oops, no one found it. Go rename it. Just call it. This is a type of SEO we should all love, right? Optimizing your own content to rank in your own search tool on your own website. You might hate Google, but this is still relevant SEO. It's site search SEO, and it's very, very useful. And if you didn't have a page on that topic, maybe you had no packing list, go create it. It's a content gap. You just found a content gap. And by the way, maybe everything that someone's searching for should actually be right there on your navigation. People don't want to have to go tap on the keyboard. Help people find things faster. Which brings us to the navigation itself. Rarely do I meet a marketer who knows how the navigation is performing on their website. The primary way to get around your site, the main way to get around your main property online. Do you know what's working? What gets clicked? What doesn't get clicked? If you've got lots of items in your navigation menu, this is especially important. If your navigation has just a few items, this might not be as relevant. I just went to Salesforce. April is kind of making fun of Salesforce. This is a mind-blowing number of navigation items. Ready? Products. Whoa. Solutions. OK. Support and services. We've got a whole big drop-down for live events, customer success. The About Us section is bigger than the average website. Like, there's a massive number of drop-down items. There's 118 different items you can click on from these drop-down menus. This is like, there's committees. I'm guessing there's a big committee somewhere inside Salesforce that had to do with the navigation, like how they built this. Do some of these things get clicked a lot? Do some of these things never get clicked? Have they ever gone back to optimize it? It's a brilliant and simple bit of analysis that anyone can do. Basically, we're just going to go to the page. Where's that report? Behavior, site content, all pages. And from that page, choose any page. Let's click on the home page. There's an item that I think often gets missed, but is so interesting, so useful. It's the navigation summary there at the top. Hiding in plain sight. There's a navigation summary. Click on the navigation summary, and it shows you people who came to this page came from where. People who left this page went where. This basically is going to show you which items are performing in your navigation. It's going to show you what gets clicked and what doesn't get clicked. Everything that you see on the right is, see the little icon in the top center? That's the page we just clicked on. We'll call it the home page. The number of people who left from there as a percentage, and people who kept going went where? There they are, the big list. There's a list of all those phrases. And what you almost immediately find, I've never seen a website that doesn't have this kind of opportunity, is that it's not working the way you had planned it. People love the slides. Everyone loves the slides. We designed an awesome park. Everyone is so happy to be playing and riding the slides. That's just the way we planned it, right? That's just what we wanted. This is at Salesforce, right? They have no clue that nobody is riding the slides. Happens all the time. Are small things getting clicked a lot? Super common. Super common. It would be weird if I pulled up any of your analytics, looked at the navigation summary for any of your home pages, and found that this wasn't true. Always, always. There's one tiny thing that gets clicked all the time. The laws of visual hierarchy are not in play, as you might think. Are big buttons getting missed? That often happens. That's never surprising, right? Banner blindness, it's a UX problem we all have to work around. Are calls to action effective? That'd be useful. Just stop and ask yourself, is that call to action effective? We gave that a lot of pixels. Is that working? Are people clicking it? Did you look it up? Did you know the navigation summary? It's weird, almost like rare to meet people who've actually been to this section in analytics. What navigation gets clicked on the most? What navigation item gets clicked on the least? You should be able to answer these questions so you can go improve, go name these things differently, right? Go remove things. Everything that you remove from a web page makes everything that's left easier to find. That basically explains why websites get old and rusty and crappy and need to be redesigned, is because marketers don't have the discipline to take something away before they add something new, right? I want my pixels. There's an HR department. They've got some ideas. We all need to put stuff on this website. Pretty soon you've got a site that has so many options on it. You added so much visual noise that you just shorten the lifespan of your current design. It's simply a matter of discipline. Marketing is about decisions. Make a tough decision and decide what you want to take away before you add something new. Otherwise, you're making everything that's left harder to find. Eventually, I end up starting to realize here that everything that's clickable is kind of like a real-time online poll. Anything that's clickable is like a real-time poll. What social networks do my visitors like? Anybody here have social media icons on their website? Everybody. Which of those gets clicked the most? Which of those gets clicked the least? Okay, this gets tricky now because that click to a social media network is an exit click. And Google Analytics is not going to track exit clicks by default, right? So you have to have Google Tag Manager. We're going to do it with Google Tag Manager to actually measure that. We're going to do it right here on the bottom of the Orbit site. Four icons. Which of those gets clicked the most? I'm going to answer that question for you in seconds. It's a little bit wonky. Bear with me. Again, you've got the video and the slides. You can follow along. I'm going into Google Tag Manager, which is a tool for managing marketing tags. It's a tool for managing tracking pixels and JavaScript tags for controlling what you're tracking on your website. You can also use it to set up things like Google Analytics events, which I'm about to do. I'm going to create a tag, clicking New. I'm going to give that a sensible name, like GA for Google Analytics. It's an event. And what kind of event I'm going to track? Offsite click. Put in my tracking ID, choose an event. Events, of course, get categories, actions, and labels. Category, I'll call it link, very creative of me. Action is going to be click, and the label is the click URL. You have to, the click URL, for some weird reason, they make you enable it first. It's a variable. Step 1, 2, 3, now click URL is available. And then I'm going to click to add a trigger. Tags are available and take action once they get triggered. So now I'm going to create a trigger. Trigger is actually even simpler to understand. It's just an offsite link click. It's a trigger added to the links. And when does it fire? When the click URL does not contain my website. If the click URL doesn't contain my website, I'm going to fire this event so that I'm tracking this in analytics because they left, because it's a click that takes them away from my website. Any click on my site that goes away from my website will be tracked using this event. Don't forget to publish. So now when I go back to top pages, behavior or events, top pages, I can look at my home page, and I can see what are all of the offsite clicks. There they all are. It's a little bit hard to do the analysis from there, so I'll just pull it out and show it to you as a little screen share. There they are. Interesting. Maybe I should use Facebook after all. I always thought it was like a creepy website for B2C marketers. Maybe I should check it out. I'm not a Facebook fan. But people who have this, so this is not weird. I blurred the brand, but anyone, does this look familiar? Anybody have super colorful, like candy-colored exit signs at the top of their website, like the most prominent thing on their page is telling people to leave? Is that a good idea? Is that effective? Is that, like, what are we really doing here? Don't tell me all those get clicked equally, that they're all of equal importance to your audience. That's totally impossible. So sort of a silly thing that people do on their sites, and they do so without data, and they leave it up there. It's by far the top of the visual hierarchy right there. It's insane. So remove those icons that don't get clicked, and maybe reconsider your social strategy. Go get active on those networks that people are using. Which of your this is good to know. Which of your pages is just unsatisfying? If you've got an FAQ page in the main navigation, you're about to uncover some amazing insights. If you don't have an FAQ page, I get it. I'm not necessarily a big fan of FAQ pages. The job of your site in general is to answer questions. There's a true story in the life of every visitor to every web page. They've got questions. Your job is to answer those questions, supply evidence to support your answers, and a call to action. That's a web page. That's the anatomy of a web page. Answer, evidence, call to action. That's the structure. That's the basic DNA of a high-converting sales page. So there were people who traveled in. I've been flying around a lot, and I got an offline example. This reminds me of this. Anyone recognize that place? Where is that? O'Hare. Terminal 1. It's that rainbow tunnel that connects those two concourses, right? So at one end of this tunnel, at the far end of this tunnel, you'll see this. Does that look familiar? Seen that? It's that shoe shine stand at one end, right? You know this place? There's a guy getting a shoe shine. He thinks I'm weird for taking his picture. I took a picture of this sign. This blows my mind. This is the problem with the internet. It's that people are answering questions that the audience doesn't have. Shoe shine, $6. Okay, am I going to price shop a shoe shine in this moment? Oh, wait, I think Terminal 3 has a $5 shoe shine. I think I'll go back out. No, nobody in this tunnel cares about $6. Right after taking this picture, I bought a bag of M&Ms for like $8. This is not a price-sensitive person. What do people in this place care about? Time. Time. They're freaked out. Right? Like virtually 100% of people on that moving walkway know what time it is to the minute without looking at their watch, right? If that said shoe shines 4 minutes, you can imagine how much better that would convert, right? This is answering a question people don't have. It's not about the cost. And even funnier, look, they put the hours. Oh, I'll come back on Sunday. I'm going to buy a ticket and go through TSA to come back and get my shoe shine on Sunday, maybe 9 a.m. I'll come bright and early. It's ridiculous. This is what's wrong with marketing. People are answering these questions that the audience doesn't have. Nobody's price shopping here, right? I could get out of digital and just make a ton of money with this shoe shine stand. The shoe shines, 4 minutes, we take Visa. That's it. That's all this sign needs to say. You get the idea. So an FAQ page in my mind is almost like important information out of context, right? That question appeared on that page. The question should be answered on that page. But if you've got an FAQ page, I kind of like this bit of analysis. This is a navigation summary for the FAQ page. Now if you look at the previous path, it's going to show you from which page people left to go get the FAQ information, right? These are pages that are unsatisfying. These are pages that are missing information. These are pages that are telling the the airline traveler that the shoe shine is $6. So yeah, these are frustrating pages and obvious opportunities. So go look. Are there FAQ questions that are missing from those previous path pages? Are there other questions that these visitors are likely asking? A simple bit of analysis is going to immediately show you which of your pages is unsatisfying. So I like this one even better. It's kind of debatable, the structure of a good FAQ page, but if you have one that has expandable content areas, this will look familiar. If you click to expand these, I know, you like that? I blurred out their name. This is Barge Lady Cruises. They're in the front row. They seem to not mind that I'm showing them. I probably didn't need to cover their brand. So this is a page that I'll tell the story. So we're looking at this together, right? Yeah. Caroline, and we look at this page and we realize not all these things are going to get clicked equally, right? But analytics doesn't really show you how people are engaging with these things because these are non-page view interactions. These aren't people moving from page to page. Analytics tracks people who move from page to page. So how can I figure out what people are doing on this page? Hotjar. I'm going to add a heat tracking tool. And when we ran Hotjar for a few weeks, left it running, it suddenly shows me click activity as a heat map, and I can see just which of these frequently asked questions are truly frequently asked and which ones are never asked. Questions 1, 7, and 13 were asked the most. Every click is a poll. Every interaction is insight. It's all a chance to listen and learn and take action to give your visitor a better experience. Here's another one I kind of mashed up from a different site. These are the questions that people really have. These are the questions that no one really cares about. Do you have data to support the idea that that is a frequently asked question, or did you just assume? Kind of made it up. We just thought these might be frequently asked, so we put them on a page. So basically, generally speaking, right, we want to surface, raise up the visibility of those top, most frequently asked questions. Maybe reorder the questions. Maybe put some different ones, and maybe remove the ones that were never asked. So that's an example of where Hotjar, without fancy event tracking and Google Tag Manager, can show us interactions on a page that are non-page view interactions. Right? That's kind of one of the limits of Google Analytics. It's not that great at tracking non-page view interactions. But Hotjar also has its limits. Hotjar is tracking clicks. Hotjar screen recordings will track movements. But we've got a new tool that we've been using which tracks much, much more. I'm going to show you an eye tracking study, very short, that we did on a website. This is one of the benefits of eye tracking is I can start the experience from before the person's even on the website because I got a subject. His name is Chris Brophy. Chris is here. That is a video of his face. You're going to hear his voice. I put in the caption so you can see. And I'm going to give him a use case. Ready? Okay, that blob is his eyes. Look how much faster it moves in the mouse. Programs, he's scanning, swimming, he clicks. He didn't notice that the page is loading slowly. He kind of glances up at the tabs when he's not sure, looking around, waiting for it to load. Oh, good, finally loads. Okay. Chris's daughter is a pro swimmer, so he's going to go straight down to swim teams. Glancing up, glancing down. Look how much faster the eye moves in the mouse. If you haven't seen one of these in a while. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened? He's confused. Did you feel the friction? Did you see what just happened? The link was an email link, and it launched an email. That would never that's not trackable in analytics. You could track that as an event in analytics, and by the way, you'd call that success. That's what success, that was a conversion. They opened an email link. They must have converted. They expressed intent. In fact, it was a massive moment of friction for him where he was totally confused. What happened when the visitor was confused? The eye shoots top left, top right, bottom right. Run to the corners. How fast? Less than 1 second, right? And what would Hotjar have shown? None of that. I'm seeing things with eye tracking. Visitor lands on a page. Is it secure? Hotjar can't track that. You can look outside. You can see views on the tab. You can watch to see whether the eye is reading words or not. Super, super powerful. If I've got an executive I'm trying to impress and I'm saying, no, you should never put an email link on a website. Email links are a problem. Here's my chart that shows you all the reason why email links are wrong. Far more compelling than that is to just show this tiny video of what is happening to your visitor who clicks on an email link. Yeah. We laugh, but that was a moment. That was a user's experience. A person with strong commercial intent at the bottom of the funnel who was frustrated, who was confused. I don't know why. It is funny. I don't know why that's funny, but it's kind of sad. So what this is, so it's a little tracking tool. It's down there. You have to calibrate it. It doesn't track all visitors, of course. You have to have a focus group. You put someone in front of it. There's the camera. There's a microphone. So it's like a little lab. So this is like the limits of this is like the future of analysis. It's super powerful, qualitative analysis. Analytics is tracking activity on a website. Hotjar is also tracking the website. This eye tracking tool is tracking people wherever they are. I could watch you from Facebook, go all the way through till wherever you want to go. I could track it on software. Analytics tracks page views. Hotjar recordings do track mouse clicks and mouse movements, but eye tracking is tracking all of that, plus audio, video, and the eye gazing, and the eye movement. So even though analytics is all visitors who accept cookies, thanks GDPR, Hotjar is tracking random samples of people. Eye tracking is technically just a focus group. This is not an actual user. You're giving them a use case. They know they're being tested. They had to calibrate the machine. And of course, it's a cost difference. If you're an Orbit client and you've got a question about your website, I want to do this with you in person in my office, please reach out. If you're not an Orbit client and your web development partner is not giving you good data on the measurement and performance of your website, also please use that email. I want to help you. That was a total shameless plug. Moving on. We just saw a video. How are videos performing on your website? How are videos performing on your website? Anyone here have videos on their website? Great. Wow. That was like almost everybody. So this will be relevant to a lot of you guys. I've got a video on this page. Click to it. It's an embedded YouTube video. Click. You can watch that. That's going to track in analytics, right? Nope, because it's not a page view interaction. Analytics is tracking movement from page to page. Think about all the things that are not tracked in analytics by default. OK, there's a carousel. There's jump links. I can choose from drop-downs. I can click to go buy it somewhere else on Amazon. I can click to share it. I can change the colors. I can watch the video. I can expand those content areas. I can choose a tab. I can interact with the map. I can leave a comment. I can download. I can email. I can chat. I can scroll. This is a list of literally 16 things that do not count in analytics. That's how analytics works, right? It's JavaScript on pages. The cookie gets triggered, or the JavaScript gets triggered when the page loads. So I can track that video view using a little bit of GTM. I'm going to show it to you now. We're going to go in. I'm going to set up the variable. These are all YouTube. It's all built in. Just check all those boxes. Then I'm going to click to create a new trigger. The trigger is going to be YouTube video, and I'm going to, and it's built in. Just click the YouTube video trigger. Start, complete, pause. You can even set progress if you want. I'm not actually going to use that for analysis. You can set percentages or time thresholds. Then you're going to save the trigger, and you're going to add a tag for it. In this case, I made the trigger first. The tag, I'm going to give it similar tag name. Naming conventions are good. Keep things organized. GA, event, and YouTube. Okay? And of course, it's a universal analytics tag. Like every event, it's going to have a category, action, and label. We just enabled these variables, so they're all ready for you. Just click on the little Lego, and it has them in there for you. And then connect it to the trigger. There's the trigger you just made, YouTube video. Save the tag, submit your container. Now when people click on that, click to watch that video, I know what happens, because Tag Manager has a listening event set up, so it's going to record analytics. Now I can go do some analysis. I can make a segment to see the difference between people who do and don't watch. Segments are all powerful. I'm a huge, huge fan. I don't know really how to use analytics very well without making segments. It's just that little thing up at the top. It took me years before I decided to play with them. If I just click on that segment, I'm going to show you basically the only kind of segment I ever make. It's that big red button makes a segment. I make conditional segments. The condition in this case, I click condition. It's to include, my segment's going to include people where the event category contains video view. Happens to be less than 1% of users. That's fine. And I'm going to call them video watchers. Then I make another one similar, almost the same, video no watchers. Exclude where the event category contains video view. Now I go to the page with the video, and there they are. It's showing me the difference between people who watch and people who don't watch. I'm about to measure the ROI of video on a page. I'm going to zoom in and show you. 10% of my visitors watch. They are 20% less likely to bounce. They spend 3.5 times more seconds on the page. They are 350% more likely to convert. Voila. Video performance measured. That's how it works. Make sense? So it's not surprising that according to our blogging survey that videos are the one format for web content that is correlating with strong results. You can see 41% of people who publish video within a specific post report strong results from that. Yet only 26% of us are using it. It's actually one of the most powerful thing is also the least popular thing. Just the internet's just getting more visual in general. We were surprised to see only 3% of bloggers are doing this, adding 10 images on average per article. Seems like a lot. I went back and looked. Our average is 14. 10 images per article. Yet the people who did that, 75% of the bloggers who made their content super visual reported strong results, more than twice the percentage above the 2x over the benchmark. So now that you know the effectiveness, you can ask yourself, where do videos perform best? You can actually see it now. I can see the difference in views on my site versus YouTube. Where's this video getting watched? That was like, dark analytics. I couldn't see that before. Are there other high bounce rate or low time on page content that could use a video? And could I improve the play rate? I was a little disappointed only 10% of my viewers had watched the video. Improving the play rates is a really kind of prescriptive thing. Here's the trick to getting people to play a video. Face draws attention, visual prominence, and headline gives them a reason to click. It's call to action, the benefit, right? Playing with the cost-benefit analysis. But then while making this slide, I realized when I saw this in context with the other guys that I'm competing with to get this video viewed, I think I missed a big opportunity. I'm like in a dungeon. Look at how dark that is. I know. Let's add a third aspect, right? Probably a bright color would really help, especially if that's in YouTube, a bright color. So we're getting down to it. I've got one more, maybe even wonkier, more specific kind of type of analysis, which I actually love the most. It's to figure out which of your content inspires visitors to take action. If you've got content and the content has a good email sign-up form next to it, then you've got this opportunity. The problem is, to calculate this, it's sort of tricky. The reverse goal path report shows you what people were doing right before they converted. It's nice, it's lovely. People were reading this article before they subscribed. People were reading that article before they subscribed. People were reading that article, 95 people who subscribed were reading that article first. 74% were reading that article before they subscribed. But that's the total conversions, not the conversion rate. What I want to find is the conversion rate to find out which are the most inspiring. To do that, I need to find out the number of page views on these, because some of that top one might have been seen 10 times as much as the next one. You get the idea. So under the All Pages report, I can see the unique page views for each article. And what I used to do for years, I actually moved these manually into a spreadsheet and kind of tried to figure out which rows were duplicates, and then figured it out and did the calculation, and that was it was so much work I did it maybe once every 6 months. But it was very useful, still very useful, because it shows me exactly what percentage of visitors who read which article subscribed. Very useful. But what I figured out more recently is how to do this all using Google Sheets. So in Google Sheets, you can connect it to Google Analytics. There's an add-on for Google Analytics. Just click Add-on, and then go to Flubaroo. I'm kidding. What a weird name. Who comes up with this stuff? There's a giant Flubaroo thing. It's the one next to it that you want. It's Google Analytics. I'm going to find out someday what Flubaroo actually is. Maybe a teaching thing? They need April's help, maybe. So you have analytics integrated with Sheets. You go to create a new report. You're going to tell analytics what account, property, and view to grab that report from, and which metric you needed. See there at the bottom, goal completions, when that page was goal previous step 1. Great. It creates a tab called report configuration. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get, to calculate this metric, I need the page views, account, property, and view. Metric is unique page views. The dimension is the page. It added a column to that goal configuration tab. This is you guys are hanging in there. I'm grateful that you're still with me here, hopefully. I am actually beginning to read to you the Google Sheets, Excel spreadsheet calculations. I'm going to get skewered in the speaker feedback comments if I start to read to you all of these different fields. But basically, now that we have all this data in here, I've got all of the number of times that page was viewed before someone subscribed and the total number of views on that page. So in a new tab, I'm going to grab that data in one column, page views, grab the rest of the data in another column, converting page, got my conversions, and There's a new column for page views. I'm not going to read to a VLOOKUP at this conference. That would be a horrible experience. You guys are going to hate me if I start reading VLOOKUPs to you. But this is the idea. Again, you've got the video and the slides, and you can go back and watch this a dozen times, or just send it to your analyst and have them set it up. But what it gives you in the end, when you calculate, divide one number by the other, you're going to see the percentage of people who subscribed to the website, to subscribe to the newsletter after reading which article. That is a gold mine of information. You know how valuable that is? Look at how much better the blue shirts are than the red shirts. The number one converting article here is twice as compelling as number 6. And number 6 is twice as compelling as number 12. This is a huge, huge exponential difference. The curve, the quality, the perceived quality, the inspirational email list growing power of your content varies wildly across. So I made this slide to describe how excited I am about that. I did this once every 6 months. That was kind of a lot of work. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to have Google do it for me automatically every Monday morning at 4 a.m. Great. Job done. It actually runs this report for me. All I have to do is go back and kind of clean up some of the filters. So once you know this, you did a calculated metric. Can you feel your skills like leveling up here as we go? Are you promoting your top performing content? Now that you know exactly which of your articles is going to be the most effective at getting your visitors to act, you know just what to do. Now you know what to do, right? The content promoter knows what to do. Put on your traffic driving gloves, put that one in heavy social rotation, put that in your email signature, put that one back on your home page, put that one at the top of the blog. You've got one of those like AdWords credits, like use that to like buy some traffic to this. Use any possible, link to it from other articles. Or can you publish more on these high performing topics? Are the high traffic pages guiding visitors to the high converting pages? Connect your best cheese, we say, to the best mousetraps. We did it. That was good. I'm glad we made it through that. I love these topics. I hope you guys felt some of that. The other big reason, I've got two last things. The other big reason to use this data is so that you can go have better meetings. Have you heard this term HIPPO? What does HIPPO stand for? The highest paid person's opinion. This is the problem with digital, problem with marketing, the problem with business, is that there's someone in the room, in every conference room, there's a highest paid person and they have an opinion, and that opinion tends to win, right? Because opinion versus opinion, the highest paid opinion wins. Opinion versus data, the data wins. And data versus data, the best data wins. So that's the job. You can actually get people on your side. You can get buy-in. You're not really ready to go to that meeting to pitch your idea unless you've got some data to support it, right? It's very hard to get approval, very hard to get buy-in. I heard this at a conference last week in DC. This was at Marketing Profs. I love this. The work of aligning stakeholders isn't some big fat obstacle to your job. That is literally your job. That's the job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And to go into that meeting without evidence, without some data, makes it much harder to get that part of your job done. So what we're going to do is to cross the line. I literally believe that there's a line that divides the blue shirts and the red shirts, a line that divides the beginner from the advanced. And it's not like a theoretical thing. That is the line. That line divides the beginning analysts from the advanced analysts. Beginners click over there a lot. Advanced users, that's the red shirts. Advanced users click over here a lot. They use segments, which we just did. They use secondary dimensions, which we just did. They drill down, which we just did. They use advanced filters, which we just did. We just did all the things that the more advanced users of analytics do. That's pretty much it. Those are pretty much all the things you can click on. We just did every one of those things. You just acquired some of those skills. You got examples of how to do every one of those skills in a prescriptive, step-by-step, how-to thing. You can go watch the video and do it again and again. So that's the blue shirt, right? That's what I want you to be as the blue shirt over here. The true experts, the hardcore analysts, actually suck the data out of analytics and use it in Google Sheets and Google Data Studio. I love them. I am not them. I respect them. I don't know how to do that. But this is the line. So I want us all to commit now to promise to challenge ourselves that we're going to click on the right. Where are you going to click? On the right. Again, where are you going to click? On the right. We're going to click on the right. Thank you, guys. I have final thoughts, just super quick. So there's another difference. It's obvious. There's another difference between these players. What is the difference between the blue shirts and the red shirts? Exactly. Right. 100 pounds, 2 feet of height, 20 years. Yeah, there's a big difference between that guy and that guy. The difference is basically practice. The difference is just time, right? They've just been doing this more. And you can do more yourself without having to wait until you're older. You can do more now. You can do more on every piece. This was that point. 3% of respondents to our survey were doing 10-plus images. 1% of respondents in our survey were creating 20 draft headlines before choosing one. Ever written 20 headlines before selecting one? Yeah, Benjamin has. And there's only 11% of us who are writing 2,000-plus word posts. After experience, the red shirt versus blue shirt, after writing one article, one of them has a lot more experience with images, headlines, and copy. After writing 5 articles, I'm kind of a proud papa, which gives me the excuse to show this. I got this from an app that I get from my teacher, from my kids' preschool, pre-K3. I enjoy seeing Eli build with various materials. He's so far the only one who uses these blocks to build in 3 dimensions. That kid is a genius. No, that's not it. He's not like endowed with some magical ability. This isn't talent. He just spends 4 hours a day building. That's all that dude does. All he wants to do all day, every day is build. He just builds all the time. Sure, he likes books because he can build with them. The difference between those hands and those hands is 200 hours of building. That's it. That is the only difference. This is the inside of his mind. You walk away, that's the inside of his mind. Not kidding, he made that. So it reminds me, last slide, Calvin Coolidge. When we started Orbit, my mom gave me this little framed, beautiful piece of calligraphy. Press on. Calvin Coolidge. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Americans totally overvalue talent. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education alone will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination are omnipotent. You can do this, guys. Just a little bit more on each post, just a little bit more in each effort, just a little bit more of analysis. Just dig deeper. Go back into your notes. What else did you learn? What else can you try? So spend a little more time on each piece. And remember, in analytics, click on the right. Thanks, guys. This was fun. Everything I Know is in a book. It's right over there.